Thank you. Is this working?
Yes, it is.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for having us. I think this is not our 10th conference. This is our first conference attending. And yeah, I do agree with the usage of the word blockchain, etc. Unfortunately, I am going to use the word crypto quite often today, as that is regulatory, and that is the field we specialize in. Okay. My name is Ryno Volschenk, as you heard. I'm the regional manager and a compliance officer at Masthead. We've been in business since 2004, specializing in regulatory compliance, risk management, etc. So during the 20 years that we've been in existence, we've seen quite a lot of change, obviously. And with the adoption of crypto into the financial landscape, ever so more, we've seen a lot of change. So this has changed the way that we do risk monitoring, changed the way that we see risk and apply risk mitigation factors within our businesses. Who's heard the term that cryptocurrency is the Wild West of finance? Anyone? Okay, so that's a belief that's been in the industry for quite some time. Probably not unwarranted at that stage, but if you haven't heard that term, that's how we've seen it. Okay. So up until very recently, largely, crypto has been unregulated. Okay. Is there anyone that didn't know that crypto is now deemed a financial product within the financial services landscape? Okay, so it seems like everyone knows that crypto is now formally regulated, and it is subjected to the oversight of the FSCA as well as the FIC. Okay, so the Financial Sector Conduct Authority, which you all, I presume, do know, as well as the Financial Intelligence Centre. Okay. This means that they have oversight over your businesses, oversight over how you sell crypto, how you deal in crypto, how you mine, well, not necessarily mine crypto, but how you deal in crypto. Okay. So where are we now? Initially, the crypto market was ruled, as I can say. It was a niche market that was there for the early adopters of crypto. In recent years, this has obviously expanded quite a lot. As more individual businesses have taken up in cryptos. So this rapid expansion has come with obviously quite a lot of pitfalls. Okay. There is a lot of fraudulent activities that take place within the crypto environment, and it seemed to have opened up the field for a couple of unscrupulous activities. So in response to these challenges, the FSCA has deemed it relevant to regulate crypto, the crypto environment as a whole, as well as other regulators like the Financial Intelligence Centre. Okay. Why or what are crypto assets and what are CASPs? So crypto asset service providers. Okay, I'm going to just refer to CASPs as all of you know about it. So some of my colleagues here today, talking about Laurie and some of the future speakers as well, obviously know a bit more about the technical workings of the crypto products. What I'm going to try to do throughout this presentation is set out in plain language what the regulations say about cryptos as well as how it's regulated. So crypto assets are digital tokens that are used for payment, investment, and other purposes relying on cryptography and distributed ledger technology. And I'm reading that definition because it's quite a mouthful. So they include various forms like stable coins, privacy coins, utility coins, non-fungible tokens, so NFTs, as most of you know them. So just the FYI on NFTs, they're not regulated by the FSCA, so they're not deemed a financial product. They are, however, regulated by the Financial Intelligence Centre, for those of you that didn't know it. So crypto asset service providers, CASP, as they're known, they provide financial services related to these crypto assets. Okay. So this means exchanging crypto assets for one another, exchanging cryptos for fiat currencies, transferring crypto assets, safekeeping, so wallets, for example, and then just participating in financial services relating to crypto as a whole. In the past 2 years, crypto asset service provider regulations have significantly evolved, as I mentioned. It's been written into law by the FAIS Act, so it's deemed as a financial product, and you are also subjected, those of you that deal with crypto, are also regulated in terms of FIC, so you are now an accountable institution in terms of the FIC Act, Schedule 1. I hope that you all knew that. Okay. So compliance and crypto, what do you need to know? Okay, so I think this is where it becomes quite important. This is a bit of, it's not very technical and it's not that much different from the traditional environment that we've worked in for a couple of years, but there seems to be a bit of grey lines within the industry. So 2 key pieces of legislation is FASE and FICA, and then there's a couple of others that I will touch on. Yeah. So CASPs are now generally subjected to the same regulations as the traditional FSPs, which means you have to comply with the General Code of Conduct, you have to comply with the fit and proper requirements, etc. Okay. The first 3 points that I have there is all exceptions to the rules of general, normal, traditional Category 1 FSPs. Okay, so as a CASP, you're not required to have PI cover at the moment. Okay, there is a bit of a caveat to that. So if you do have other subcategories on your license, so for example, long, short-term deposits or investments or whatever the case may be, you are required to still have PI cover for those license categories. The second point there is key individuals and the fact that the key individuals do not have to have regulatory examinations at the moment. Okay, that exemption was there up until 11 November of this current year, and luckily there is a new notice by the name of Notice 76 of 2024 that was issued during the course of last week that extended this exemption for regulatory examinations up until end of June 2025. And then the third point there is class of business training, which basically just sets out that you as a crypto asset service provider do not have to undergo any form of crypto related class of business training. Okay. Some key points to note. Point number 4 there, licensing. Okay. Anyone offering license or crypto asset services or any form of dealings within crypto, you're required to be licensed under the FSCA. Okay. This licensing process started on the 1st of June 2023, and initially entities that dealt in crypto at that stage had to submit their licenses by the 30th of November 2023. So after that date, obviously the FSCA has continued to receive applications and issued applications. So up until end of June this year, there was about 140 licenses issued. That's about 5 or 6 months ago. So obviously there's quite a bit more at this moment. Then the 5th point there, experience. Okay, so this is one of the key stumbling blocks that we find in the industry is once people want to become regulated for crypto asset services, the experience requirement is lacking. So how do we prove experience in order to become a key individual? So that is a bit of a problem because the FSCA do want you to prove that you have crypto experience within an entity that dealt with crypto rather than just in your personal dealings or your personal tradings, etc. Okay. 6th point there is the qualifications requirement. Okay. So currently, crypto asset service providers, the key individuals, need formal qualifications. Okay. So this means that there is a qualification list that was issued by the FSCA, and you have to have one of those qualifications. If you don't, you can apply to have your qualification on the list. This is quite a tedious process, or you can apply for exemption in this regard. And then the last point there is disclosures. So what this means is that no different from the traditional FSPs, a crypto asset service provider has to be subjected to some disclosure requirements towards the clients, even enhanced disclosure requirements towards clients. So make sure that you explain the volatility of the product, the price fluctuations, the risks associated with digital assets, etc. Then the second key piece of legislation, as you can see there, is FICA. Okay, so there's a couple of concepts that I'll focus on. Just want to see, can I move this notes down a bit? Yeah. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, if you can scroll down to the bottom, thank you. So, FICA compliance, definitely a must for crypto asset service providers. We see massive penalties and fines coming out of the industry, not particularly just for cryptos, not yet, at least. So crypto asset service providers, due to the nature of the product, the risks associated with the product, is subjected to high regulatory standards, which means that the FIC takes a keen interest in cryptos. So the first thing that you need to do as a accountable institution is you have to register. Okay, very, very important. If you haven't done it till today, please go onto the website and register with the FIC as an accountable institution. This also means that you have to submit regulatory reports on a regular basis towards the FIC. It can be annual type of reports, or it can be something like a suspicious transaction cash threshold report, be it as it may. There's regulatory reports that you have to submit. Very, very importantly, you have to have a risk management compliance program. Okay, so those of you who has not heard about that term, RMCP, you can maybe check my details at the end of this, because then we have to have a chat about it, because that is very, very important. That is basically your process, setting out how you will do customer due diligence. Okay, I'll go into the other notes a bit later on. Very importantly, when it comes to FIC, there is an imminent change towards the FIC landscape, in the sense of very soon crypto asset service providers will have to comply with the travel rule, which means that you have to collect or share information about the sender as well as the receiver or recipient of the crypto assets. Okay, so very important to take note of that. It is currently in draft form, but it will help track crypto transfers, help share of information within the industry. So if a regulator were to ask you to prove where certain transactions took place, you should be able to do this. So you have to be able to meet more stringent FICA requirements and adopt very robust systems as a crypto asset service provider. You'll see there's a note making provision for enhanced KYC. Okay, make sure that you don't just subscribe to the normal traditional FSP's way of doing things. You're going to have a look at enhanced biometric verification, video KYC, whatever the case may be. There has to be enhanced KYC measures based on the nature of your entities. Ongoing monitoring. Okay, it's very valuable to have a look at possible tools that can assist you in screening clients on an ongoing basis, and that's not just screening them against targeted financial sanctions list or anything like that, but also continuous risk-based screening of your clients. Then enhanced record keeping. It is very, very possible that crypto asset service providers will be subjected to enhanced record keeping requirements, as well as continuous, as I mentioned, risk assessments that you have to do, and increased reporting requirements. Okay, so what this means is crypto asset providers will most likely in the future have to submit more reports on a more frequent basis for crypto compliance or for FIC compliance. Then, other than the FICA and the FASE Act, very importantly for all entities, not just for CASPs, you have to take into account POPI, okay, protection of personal information. Those of you who has not heard about it, again, please let's have a chat. If you have heard about it and not done anything about it, maybe let's have a chat as well. You have to register as a information officer with the POPI or with the information regulator. So make sure that you take into account the regulations that POPI has for us. The second one is the exchange control regulations. Okay, so this is very important when it comes to specifically larger transactions that takes place within the arbitrage market. So those of you that deal in arbitrage, just the FYI as well, you are required to have a Category 2 license as a FSP. But also the exchange control regulations make provision for you as a crypto asset service provider to, obviously similar to normal FSPs, get exemption from SARS when you want to transfer more than R1 million per annum. And then the last one there is the IT joint standards. Okay, so IT joint standards isn't inherently applicable to crypto asset service providers, although it's preferred that you have it there because it deals with your IT frameworks, cybersecurity, all of those various different things. But if you are a Category 2 FSP, you are required as of the 15th of November to comply with the IT Tshwane standards. Tips and solutions for overcoming challenges within the financial regulatory landscape. Okay. Implement very robust KYC mechanisms. Okay. So make sure that you partner with the right people, make sure that you have tools in place in order to satisfy the KYC requirements on an ongoing basis. Stay up to date with regulations. So regularly review regulatory reports or join a working group. There is an intergovernmental fintech working group, which I know some of the attendees in the audience are part of. So join groups like that. Make sure that you stay abreast of regulation. Then invest in enhanced cybersecurity measures. Okay, so it's becoming ever more important for us to make sure that our cybersecurity mechanisms are in place. Adopt a multi-layered cybersecurity approach. Make sure that you do multi-factor authentication. Okay. Then, very importantly, invest in compliance training. So ensure that your staff are well-versed or well-trained in the crypto space, the crypto regulations. Make sure that they do continuous professional development and receive that training, if it's not from you internally, from experts externally. And then the last item there is consult with experts. There's a lot of experts within the room. We do consider ourselves to be experts from a financial regulatory oversight monitoring perspective. So work with compliance experts to navigate the complexities of the crypto environment. Okay. On that note, there is my details as well as our Joburg team on the screen. And yeah, looking forward to connecting with some of you after the session. Thank you.